An old mossy rock sits in the middle of a clearing, and next to it was Vemily, gazing at the cloud-scattered sky, the afternoon sunlight beaming through the thick clouds as Vemily lay there motionless, watching the puffy clouds float by. She didn't really know who she was, nor really cared. She didn't really know what purpose she served, but that didn't really concern her. And she didn't really know where she was, but she wasn't bothered by it. In fact, she was already amazed by just looking at the clouds of this world. That's when she decided it was about the right time to sit up and look around her. She was sitting in the middle of a field of stones, and her eyes then locked onto a rock with a foreign inscription, sitting at the mouth of a forest path. She tilts her head and curiously stares at it. Her focus then shifts onto the path in front of her, and she jumps to her feet and lets curiosity guide her down it, venturing forth into the unknown. And as the forest around the path grew and grew in density, she began to notice the sounds of the birds singing their lovely melodies, and the chirping and clicking of insects. She wondered to herself onto what world she has found herself standing upon. She then stumbled upon a cloth messenger bag, resting against a tree with a hatchet poking out of it. Vemily studied the bag and ran her hand along its soft, plain cloth. She opened it and found it to be filled with sticks and tall, dried grass. She took out the hatchet and observed it in her hands. The handle was smooth, polished, and it felt light in her hands. The head, which was rather large, was smattered with moss, and the blade was fairly dull. And Vemily put the hatchet away and slung the bag around her shoulder. She continued on at a quicker pace, with her confusion turning into curiousness and her cautiousness into confidence. She soon emerged from the forest, and in front of her stood a sprawling grassland, dotted with plateaus and cherry trees, both varying in many sizes. In the distance, Vemily saw snowy mountains in which the sun was preparing to hide behind. She continued on, leaving the forest path behind her, and marched west towards the mountain, exploring the hilly grassland that lay before her, watching the sun dip lower and lower into the sky until it finally vanished, and the world around her became dark and quiet. But not for very long. Soon the heavens emerged from the night sky, and the light from the galaxies, stars, moons, and planets lit up the darkness as streams of red, green, blue, even neon pink light flowed and shimmered and swam through the night sky like a watercolor paintbrush painting a canvas. The soft light illuminated the world, filling it with vivid and vibrant colors. Vemily made her way to the top of a hill where a cherry tree was bathing in a faint sea blue light. She stopped at the top of the hill and looked towards the mountains, and saw a river of gold light weaving and flowing around the peaks of the mountains like a mythical dragon. She kept walking, moving forward, losing herself in the beauty of her environment. Above her was a sea, an ocean of light. And as the night progressed, the lights gradually got dimmer, and the stars slowly drifted away. And as time continued along, Vemily kept venturing forth until she came across a small and calm river. And on the other side was a plateau with a single cave dug into it. The light show had mostly faded, leaving only the moonlight that gently reflected off the water of the river. And as the fireflies drifted about, shining their little lights, she waded her way across the river and approached the mouth of the cave and smiled. There was something about this cave that appealed to her. It gave her faint feelings of warmth and safety. and so she told herself that she was going to make this place her home. So she found herself a cozy patch of grass and laid down, watching the last remains of the stars and slivers of light fade into darkness, and then she slowly drifted to sleep.